Well, welcome to Matt's Rocks. Today I'm going to be doing this agate I got out of a rock shop in McCann. I did two others. Posted that video yesterday. It'll be out Sunday. And there's what they look like now. I don't know if that pattern, if that chevron pattern is going to transfer all the way through once I start rounding it off, because I lost most of it on the other two that I did yesterday. The two I did yesterday, or finished yesterday, had this chevron pattern on it. It was like an L-shaped agate with the fortification lines going like this, and I cut off, when I slabbed it, it was a little bit, it was probably that wide. And but when I slabbed it, I just did the straight lines came out later on in the deeper into the rock after I started cutting it off for these, trying to get this pattern. So I thought that was a better pattern, and the reason why I made it so big was so I wouldn't waste all of that. And I only had 3 with that pattern. Actually, here's the 2 that I did. I did this one flat so that I could keep the pattern. And this one here, when I did it, I got to keep most of the pattern, not all. Well, I shouldn't say most, a little less than half, or a little more than half, but it comes down this side and it goes over to this side a little bit, and then there's a little on the top here in the upper layers that stayed. But that's the 2 I did yesterday, finished yesterday. And I've still got 2 more. I got these 2 that I'm going to do. I'm going to do a video for each one of them because I've made them so big. This one's got dop wax on it I had to heat the stone up, so when I set it on and I can't figure out how to get that dop wax off the outer edge of that dop pot where you heat up the rocks at. I don't know why. They just don't want to come off. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started on this one. I'm going to shape it around first, and then I'll do these first 2 wheels and get back with you. I'll let it roll here for a little bit so I can get some B-roll, I guess you'd say. Wet all these down just in case I get to that one before it dries out. Which I might. One good thing about it, this one doesn't have all of the darker stuff in it that the other one does. So that'll make it where it's at least clear, which means them lines might show up even after even if I take them all off of the surface. They may still show up in there somewhere. I don't know. I see why I was losing it now. I probably won't lose it all. I just now noticed it. But if you look, you can see the lines coming down. So that chevron pattern goes down into the rock at an angle kind of like that on that side. That's why I lost some of them yesterday. Now I see. Ooh, I've got a fracture on the edge right there. I think I'll get it out for there though. I don't think it goes past the line there. Okay, I got my sides down where it's just at the edges of my line. I went on ahead and took it to the 220 grit on this outside edge just to keep from getting a bunch of chips. So I was getting a bunch of chips around the outside edges, and now that I've done that, I don't have any chips on this back edge, which was a pain on that last one. Actually this one here, because when I went to do the back on it, it had a bunch of chips around that outside edge that I had to cut outside to round it off more. This way it doesn't have the chips to start out with. Now I do still have chips on this side, but I don't need to worry about those because I'm rounding this off anyway. Both directions. I'm going to round it this way and this way. And fixing to do that now on the 280 grit. And first I got to cut it down to where I want my girdle to be and go from there rounding it. So shut this one off and I'll go ahead and get started on that, but I don't really need the camera on for that, so I'll go ahead and shut it off again. Okay, there's my shape. With my girdle. All done with the 220 grit, the 220 grit, fixing to take it to the 280. I keep calling the 80 grit 280 for some reason. Let me wet it down. Show you how much pattern I got left. I don't know if this camera's gonna do it. Let's try it on this one. Still got quite a bit of pattern, but it's just not as bright as it used to be. It's not as thick as it used to be. Send out some, and it seems like a lot more of it's gone on this side than the other, just like the last one. But I think it's all going to show through in the end because it doesn't have as much gray in it. There's my girdles. I don't know if you can see those. Let me dry it off again, let you look at it dry. The lines show up better when it's dry anyway. But as you can see, it's going to be fairly clear from behind. So the lines will show up a little better that way. And I don't know if you can still see the girdle. That girdle may end up a little bit lower by the time I get off the 220 grit. I had a few little spots down here. Actually, they were more up here towards this one and this one. Between these two, there was a bunch of little pits there that took me a while to get out. Beginning to wonder if I was ever going to get them out, or if I was going to have a flat-topped agate again after it was all done. Okay, let me get back on this one, and we'll do the 280 grit. I should have shut the water off on that one earlier. heck, that's not ready anyway. All kinds of soft spots, and it looked like they were going crossways across the girdle. The crystal out of fortification lines, I know what it is. But I know they wouldn't have come out on that other wheel without some major work. Well, I had this taken care of. I know I haven't worked it since then. I haven't even got on it since then. I wonder if it was because it was a little bit less than, or a little bit more than a 90 degree. Or I don't know how that would work out on the bottom half, less than a 90 degree, more than a 90 degree. Well, that's got them out good enough for now. Okay, I'm ready to take it to the 600 grit. Let me readjust this camera. Actually, let me back it up a little. Back everything up a little. Two lights, two tripods for the lights, two tripods for the camera. There we go. Light on the subject. Here we go. I guess I ought to put some water on there first. Still didn't put my new felts or my other felts on there. I think I'm just going to buy brand new ones, or back the ones from Kingsley North. These ones don't seem to be doing so good. Okay, here I'm done with it on the cabin machine for this side and the girdle. Nice looking rock. Girdle's all good and shiny. Let me show it on this other one. I'm still going to take it to the flat lap to get the back of it polished. But I don't want to take it to any of these flat discs because I've got quite a bit of kerf marks on the back. Actually, not as many as I had on the front, but I should say they're not as bad on the back as they were on the front. So I had a little skip when the blade come over a little bit, or blade was over this way a little bit and popped out a little bit, so there was just a little tiny ledge from where it started. It was either from where it started or where it ended. I'm not sure which. I still got a little bit of pitting on the top of that, but it's this. I still had quite a bit of this wider stuff before I took it to the flat lap to do the cerium oxide or aluminum oxide, and the pits that were in there got bigger from that micron-sized polish. Because that aluminum oxide, I think, is 2 or 3 microns. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how they're measured. And I threw away all the boxes. I put them in pretzel jars, plastic gallon pretzel jars. And now I don't remember what size I bought. Oh, I don't, my water's all the way over there. But anyway, let me, I'll go ahead and put this in the freezer so I can pop it off the dop stick, and then I'll take it to the other flat lap, or take it to the flat lap again and polish the back, and I'll show you the finished product at the end, and we'll call it a video after that. So I'll see you when I get back from doing that. Okay, I'm back. I lost some of the lightness. Of course, I probably already said that, but I lost quite a bit of the lightness on this side over here. It's more of a kind of a yellow, but let me get this. You can still see the lines on that side when you get light behind it, because it's still got all the lines on the back. But you can also see on the side over here, I got my lesser powered glasses on, the fortification lines that make up the V here, the chevron, they drop down at an angle like this, down this side, right there, and go down into the stone. But that upper layer was also thinner, and a lot of it came out when I rounded it. It kind of went away. It went further down into the stone, higher up, but you could see that it's still there on the back. Let me show it on this other camera. I tried putting that light behind the light on the cabin machine behind it, and it didn't work out so good. It just washed it out way too much. I think this one probably will too, but it'll make it easier to see if I can get the light at the right angle. See, how did I do that? Let's try this with the other hand. Come in with the light from the other side. There they are. So you can see some of them. You can see that they go down in there, but they're still there. And there it is without the light behind it. Still got these lines here kind of go straight up this side. A lot of those. Well, I guess they're still at an angle, but there's a lot of lines in that. Yeah, you might be able to see them there if it wasn't for all this flashing. This one does. My editing program doesn't have anything to take that out either. The DaVinci didn't either. It had a switch between 50 and 60 hertz lights, which is the amount they blink, but it didn't help any. And then it had an auto also, and this one, the other one, just got an on and an off. There's the lines on the back. Now I polished it up too. It took an hour and a half to get the kerf marks out of that and get it ready to. I had to take it to the 280 grit over here because I couldn't get my scratches from my old 270 grit. My old 270 grit steel plate cut better, and I thought it was wore out. Then my new 270 grit, that's not a steel plate, it's an epoxy, but it still left scratches on the back that I couldn't get out with the 600, so I took it back to the 280. I took it to the 325 too, and it wouldn't take the scratches out either. So I knew I didn't work too long on it, but I got that all out of there, and Got it all cleaned up. Didn't have any chips around the outside of the bottom out here on the edge either, but I got it. It's still fairly sharp, but it's probably going to have silver glued to it around the outside and the back, coming in just a little ways on the back and up the sides to the end of the girdle, just past the girdle, to hold it in there, or they can glue it in there, either or. But they'll have to rough up the edge a little bit of the back of the stone, just wide enough for the girdle to cover, help the glue stick a little better. But anyway, squirrel. I'm going to be doing it. I'm not going to do it. I don't have the tools or the knowledge or the steady hands. They're steady enough if I can rest them on something, but if I have to hold them out straight without no support, I can't hardly hold them up there. But I'm going to do these other two on the next video. This one will be out on the 28th, on Wednesday next week. I got this done in one day this time. It took me, well, I didn't start till about a little after 1, and it was 9:30, I think, 9 o'clock when I finished polishing back. And then I had to put it back in the freezer to get the dop stick off the rounded side so that I could clean it off. I had to wait for it to cool down or warm up. Clean it off, wash my hands so I didn't leave a bunch of sticky fingerprints. Well, not sticky, just oily fingerprints. But anyway, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one. I've got the first 2 cabs of this that I took inside so my brother could look at. There's going to be 5 of them total with these 2, and then I'll do something else. I'm not sure what yet. I'm going to try to find something a little different. I've got some rocks over there I still need to cut, but I don't want to do that just yet either, because I got to find a place to put all these slabs that I got laying here on the desk. They're in the way. Another squirrel. But anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one, and have a good day.